All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the world of elite close protection, and we're going to break down a very specific protocol. It's the 72-hour readiness model, designed to secure high-profile people in one of the most stunning and, believe me, deceptively dangerous places on Earth, the Alps in winter.
So, you know the picture, right? The Alps are a playground for the world's elite. You're thinking luxury chalets, perfect ski slopes, complete privacy. But for a security pro, this landscape is a paradox. The very things that make it so exclusive, the isolation, the high altitude, the unpredictable weather, well, those are the exact same things that create massive and often invisible risks.
And that right there is the key. People underestimate it. This isn't just about guards and gates, it's about mastering the environment itself. Think about it. A sudden storm can leave you completely trapped. An avalanche doesn't care who you are or what's in your bank account. And with very few roads and limited access to top-tier medical care, if a crisis hits, time is one thing you just don't have. It's basically an operational minefield disguised as a winter wonderland.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you protect someone when the environment is one of the biggest threats? You can't exactly muscle your way through a blizzard. This is where the old-school, brute force approach to security just completely falls apart. You need something smarter.
And the answer is a highly disciplined, time-based protocol. It's called the 72-hour rule. Think of it like a mission countdown, a system built from the ground up to anticipate and shut down risks long before the client even thinks about packing their ski gear. So let's dig into how it actually works.
The whole operation is built around 3 critical phases, each with a very specific job. We kick off with intelligence and strategy. Then we move into logistics and technology. And finally, we have the on-the-ground final advance. This structure is all about making sure that absolutely nothing gets missed.
All right, let's start at the top with Phase 1, the 72-hour intelligence sweep. This is the bedrock of the entire mission, and it all starts 3 full days before arrival. 72 hours. And trust me, that number's not just pulled out of a hat. It's the absolute minimum time you need to gather solid intelligence, really analyze it, and then build a flexible strategy that can handle the constantly changing Alpine environment. Now, what's really happening here? Well, we're talking way beyond just checking a weather app. This is a deep dive into avalanche risk reports and even local protest schedules. It's about mapping not 1, but 3 routes: primary, secondary, and an emergency extraction route, and then confirming, hey, can you actually drive these at night if they're covered in ice? This is also when you're locking in your local assets. You know, drivers who actually know how to handle mountain roads, and local medical contacts, and running an initial security sweep of the chalet or hotel.
So, once that intel foundation is solid, we roll into the next phase. At the 48-hour mark, everything shifts to logistics and tech. This is where the plan starts to become very, very real.
48 hours out. At this point, physical assets are being prepped and digital vulnerabilities are being scanned. We're moving off the whiteboard and into active, hands-on readiness. So you've got this really cool mix of physical and digital prep going on. Your secure vehicles are getting fitted with winter tires, full emergency kits, and satellite phones. At the exact same time, an OSINT, or open source intelligence team, is scanning for any online chatter, any leaked travel plans, basically any digital breadcrumbs that could compromise security. Where it's allowed, drones are flying routes to check for blind spots. And, critically, you're confirming that the helipad is clear and you know the exact response time for a medical evacuation.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most critical phase of prep. This is the 24-hour window, when the team is on the ground, getting hands-on with the immediate environment. 24 hours to go. The clock is ticking. The principal will be traveling soon, and the advanced team is now on site, walking through a final sweep to make sure every single detail from the 72-hour plan is executed to perfection.
So this is the final punch list. It means doing detailed walkthroughs, physically timing the routes. It means setting up redundant communications. We're talking radio, mobile, and satellite, because we all know cell service in the mountains is a gamble. The team does one last deep safety check of the residents, everything from the heating systems to the surveillance camera angles, and finally, there's a soft briefing for the principal, covering small but crucial things like, say, delaying social media posts to avoid geotagging their live location.
Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. We see the steps, but to really get this model, you have to understand the why. What's the core philosophy that makes all of this actually work?
It all boils down to a really simple but incredibly powerful idea: precision over strength. And honestly, this is a fundamental shift in how we need to think about top-tier security.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The best security team in this environment isn't the one with the most people or the biggest cars. No way. It's the team that anticipated the road would be iced over, already knew the alternate route, and had a driver with advanced medical training ready to go before a problem could even happen. It's all about being 5 steps ahead of everything.
And this slide really lays it out perfectly. The old way of doing things is reactive. You wait for a threat and you react to it. This precision model is anticipatory. You stop the threat from ever becoming a reality. It's not about using generic force. It's about making smart, intelligence-led decisions that are custom-built for the unique dangers of a winter environment.
So let's bring it all home. What's the big takeaway from all this for anyone making security decisions? It means the game has changed. The standard for what ready looks like has completely evolved.
And here it is, plain and simple. If your security team is showing up to the Alps without a winter-specific game plan, they're not ready. Period. A model like the 72-hour rule isn't just a nice-to-have or best practice. In this high-stakes environment, it is the essential benchmark for guaranteeing safety, security, and true peace of mind.